foot.
From Kingsway Regional High School, Comcast Cable Channel 5 presents High School Wrestling. Today it's a battle of two state powers, the Cougars of Kittatinny and the Dragons of Kingsway Regional High School. Hello everyone, with John Vogening. I'm John Mondelli. Vogue, our first match of the year, two top 10 teams in the state. Should be a pretty interesting match.
Well, the sparks should fly in plenty of bouts that we have going on, John. You know, I saw the Kittatinny Cougars at the Caldwell Classic this year. They have a nice balanced lineup. They have a lot of experience in the lineup. Potentially two state champions and another couple that could be place winners. So Kingsway will have its work cut out.
Yeah, if you look at Kingsway's lineup, a lot of balance, a lot of depth. We know the numbers, great numbers here at Kingsway. And you mentioned Kittatinny, and you talk about a couple guys who could, make a run for the state. That's Livingston and Spellman. Talk about those two kids.
Right, Will Livingston, is an excellent wrestler. He's a 30-pounder. He's a senior. Let me cheat here for a second. 9-0 this year, has over 100 wins in his career. Tommy Spellman impressed us up at the Caldwell Classic because he turns around and beats Scott Giffen of Eastern up there, the returning state champion. And he's off to a 10-0 start this year with 74 career wins already.
Of course, you think about Kittatinny, they've been dominating Group 2. They're the five-time defending champions in Group 2. Kingsway, matter of fact, used to wrestle in Group 2. I think they wrestled Kittatinny for their first championship. I think Kittatinny beat them in the semis, and then Kittatinny is going on to win 5 in a row. For Kingsway, they're in Group 3. It's going to be a battle this year because there's a lot of strong teams in Group 3.
Unquestionably, and of course Kittatinny, as you mentioned, has won 5 in a row, 6 overall. They're very dominant in District 3 up in North in Region 1, and of course Kingsway has now moved out of Group 2 because of their expansion and the number of bodies they have in the school, and so they're now a Group 3 team. So it's a good early test for Kingsway to see just where they stand with a new coach and some new faces in their lineup.
Let's talk about one matchup. We looked on paper. What would be the one intriguing match, and you're talking about 160.
160 with Billy Widener is a two-time district champion for Kingsway, and he'll go up against a senior by the name of Jim Seeley, who's 10-1 this year. He won the Caldwell tournament. He won the Kittatinny Cougar Invitational, and was a district runner-up last year. So now you have two guys that have been in district finals before going head-to-head today, and that's going to be a real good test for Widener to see just how far he's advanced going into his senior year. Should be a great matchup.
Number 9, Kittatinny against number 10, Kingsway. We'll have all the action coming up next right here on Channel 5. It's supposed to be, but... Welcome back to Kingsway Regional High School. John Vogening, John Mondelli. Vogue, our first match of the year, and we're going to start at 135 pounds. Anticipating Orlando Cuevas, a senior for Kingsway, against Troy Branham, a sophomore, for Kittatinny. Kittatinny coming in, Vogue, 4-1. Lost a tight one to Bergen Catholic, who's number 8 in the state, 32-31, as we look at the head coach of Kittatinny, Coach Johnny Gill.
John Gill's been at the school for 28 years. The last 26 as the head coach. As we mentioned, pre-meet has won 5 consecutive Group 1 championships. Tom McConnell, the first-year head coach at Kingsway, former wrestler at Collingswood, assisted at Collingswood. He assisted at Eastern. This is his first head coaching job. Former district and regional champion for Collingswood.
Just underway, 20 seconds in, our first match of the season, 135 pounds. Kittatinny coming in number 9 in the state, Kingsway 10.
That's the Gannett top 20 you're talking about, right?
Yep.
And we'll see what happens after the holidays here, because you're letting these teams go through the tournaments, and I think we always take a look at dual meet competition before we start ranking where teams should be placed. Troy Branham placed 5th at the Caldwell tournament. Orlando Cuevas 1st in the Collingswood tournament.
1 minute in, still no score.
You think if there's a little bit of an advantage at this weight class, it would lie with the Kingsway wrestler. Of course, as we analyze it ahead of time, we look for Kingsway probably to have a lead after the heavyweight match has been wrestled. But then when they turn the corner and come back to 103 through 130 pounds, Kingsway will have their work cut out.
Yeah, so I think the key for Kingsway, when they do, they got to get bonus points in the matches they win.
Well, they're certainly capable of getting extra points in the last 3 weights, 89, 215, and heavyweight. That'll determine how close they can keep the team score at the end. John Gills, we mentioned, 28 years at Kittatinny, which is a spin-off of Newton.
And Newton was a power in the early years of wrestling, wasn't he?
In the 40s, the 50s, Newton was one of the big teams upstate. And Kittatinny is a regional school that is an offshoot of Newton. John Gill assisted by Lynn Cron, who's been with him for a number of years. In fact, as John Gill mentioned when we were talking, that he's his right-hand man.
Little timeout with 12 seconds left here in the first period. You know, Kittatinny's got a tough match next Saturday. I mean, this is a Friday, and then Saturday, January 7th. And according to the Gannett poll, South Plainfield's the #1 team in the state of New Jersey, and that's who Kittatinny has. And if you remember last year, everybody, not everybody, I know I was one, thought Kittatinny could not be touched. I thought they would start #1 and finish #1, but they were upset by South Plainfield, so maybe it's Kittatinny's turn for a little revenge, huh?
Could be, could be.
According to the Gannett poll, South Plainfield 1, Camden Catholic 2, Jackson 3, Paulsboro 4, Del Val 5, Ocean 6, Southern 7th, Bergen Catholic 8, Kittatinny 9, and Kingsway 10. So warning and a point for the Dragons. Nice point to steal at the end of the period, even no matter how you get it.
Yeah, yeah, evidently a stall warning earlier, and then of course that was the stall call, so Kingsway gets 1 point for stalling.
Bravest to first. Branham will take down, start the second period. Coach, I'm picking a 50-50, and you know what? It won't be me.
Well, if you have any kind of luck like Mr. Becker did at the Paulsboro duel, there you see the escape.
Cuevas right in on the leg, though, trying to get the takedown and some back points. He gets a takedown.
He got
Like a 6, folks. He got it. Whoa! There's a big 6. We talked about Kingsway having to get bonus points.
Yep.
A tight match after 1 period. But I'll tell you what, he went on the attack in the second period. And the knock we've heard about Kingsway weren't very aggressive early on in the season. They looked aggressive there.
Very aggressive, very aggressive. And that's a big shot in the arm for the Dragons because, as you mentioned, they have to get bonus points.
For Kittatinny, it's Zach Verga.
Okay, 140, Zach Verga.
Verga and Colin Schwab both weighed in at 140 pounds, so Zach Verga gets the call. Here's the takedown. You see him go right for the near side cradle, and then he'll just lift the leg, lower the body, and flatten the shoulders. Oh my.
6-0 lead Kingsway. Here we go. Verga 8 and 6. Gattuso gets the first points on the takedown.
And an early 2-0 lead.
Nice start for the season. Gattuso 6 and 3 on the season for him.
Verga comes at 8 and 6, fourth in the Caldwell tournament, third in the Cougar Invitational at Kittatinny. Gattuso third in the Collingsville tournament, a district runner-up at 145 pounds last year, so he's down 5 pounds from last year.
Got to bring him down. Here's a stall warning.
Stall warning.
Couldn't get it out quick enough, Boach.
We'll have the 50-50 winner, so get your tickets ready.
Yes.
$217.
So 2-0 lead, a warning against Gattuso. 1-2 to wrestle first period. Kingsway out in front, 6-0.
The same situation again. Gattuso's, when the man gets to his feet, he's either got to cut him, and he did cut him right as they're going out of bounds, or he's got to get him back to the mat.
And I think if he didn't have that warning, he would have held on. I think that warning, yeah, I got a little scared there.
Yep.
Let him go, 2-1. I guess he's confident on his feet. He got that first takedown. You look at the records of these two guys, 8-6 for the Kittatinny wrestler, Gattuso 6-3. But like we talk about, a lot of times records are deceiving because of the tournaments that these teams are wrestling and in the competition that these teams wrestle.
Yeah, Gattuso has already been to, I believe he was to the Beast of the East earlier,
right,
the opening weekend.
Like that move by Gattuso. Didn't get the takedown yet.
Not yet. Thought he rushed it just a little bit and he lost his grip.
Nice composure by Verga.
I like to keep score as the match is going on. And of course, when you've got 2 Ks, you got to put another initial after it. KI doesn't cut it, does it?
No, not at all.
Green ticket, 378-952.
2 minutes.
378.
For period, second period.
952.
Of course, maybe we'll get to the overtime, or we get a chance. We'll talk about the new overtime rule, Voj.
$217.
Gattuso's got to get to the side. He's already been hit for a warning. Try and break his man down.
Yep.
Gotta watch here.
Here's Vega on his feet again, so Vega keeps working, gets the escape. That ties it up at 2. A blood timeout.
Blood timeout. Voj, we talked about the overtime rule. We talked about it on our wrestling preview. Why don't you explain to everybody about the overtime rule?
Well, first off, if the match is tied after regulation, you go into a 1 minute overtime period with both wrestlers on their feet. And then in New Jersey this year, they have something that they're trying. It's not really accepted by the National Federation yet, but they each get 30 seconds. One wrestler starts down, and after that 30 seconds, the other wrestler gets a chance to go down. Of course, in Virginia, which Paulsboro just came from a tournament down there, they still have the Federation rule. So in that 30-second period, if somebody gets the point, the match is over. And that caught them a little bit by surprise down there. After the 2 30-second periods, then they go to a definite sudden death after that.
Right.
But it used to be kind of unfair. You'd flip the disc and a 50-50 chance of getting your choice. And then they used to go to the first point scored would give your choice. But if you were the top man and trying to ride him and the guy got out, the match was over. So I think it's a lot fairer, and it mirrors the college rules now.
I like that.
Well, I think it's a lot fairer. Well, you did not win the 50-50.
No, I didn't have a ticket.
Oh.
I drew the ticket, I think.
Oh. You didn't invest in it this time.
Oh, no, but it went to somebody from East Green, which was okay. I'm sure that money will go to paying his taxes. Then we see Coach McConnell. We'll talk to some of the parents and some other people that know this Kingsway program. They're happy with the job he's doing. He's a great motivator, works well with the kids.
Back in 1994, when he was a wrestler for Collingswood High School, he wrestled 145 pounds, and he looks pretty fit. Probably not much above that now. But he won a district title. We won a regional title. Unfortunately, when he wrestled in the state tournament, the first wrestler he had to wrestle was Brian Colbert of Highland, and he lost to Colbert 7-5 in overtime. Came back and he wrestled and won his first match in overtime, won his second match in overtime, and then he lost 3-3 on a tiebreaker. So 4 matches he had in the state tournament were all overtime matches.
Wow. One match from placing, right, Coach?
Yes. Yep. Talk about pressure.
2-2 match here. Verga and Gattuso, 1 minute wrestle in the second period. Second match of the evening. We started at 135.
Kingsway coming out of the box early with a very aggressive pin by Orlando Cuevas over Troy Branham. Give Kingsway that 6-0 lead.
You mentioned, Voj, they have to do that early because once we turn the table and we get down to heavyweight and go back up to 103, that's where Kittatinny's really strong.
Their strength of the lineup is in the bottom weight. So, Kingsway has to make hay here in this upper part of the lineup. And I definitely would think that they have the advantage in the last 3 weights. And, of course, one of Kingsway's better wrestlers, Billy Widener, will meet a very accomplished wrestler himself before Kittatinny sends Tommy Spellman out, who we all think has a real good shot at being a state champion this year.
And we talk about on the line, no takedown. And as Coach, we talk about the strength of the lighter weights, but you look at Kittatinny from 52 to 71, they're 28-3 combined. Junior 8-2, Seeley's 10-1, and Spellman's 10-0. So I mean, they're not. Yeah, they're not too shabby there either.
They're not going to be a pushover. Right? Those are matches where Kingsway has some pretty decent wrestlers who have the chance of winning. So it's a spot in the lineup where they have to cash in like Cuevas did.
Another injury time or blood timeout. We start the 3rd period, 2-2.
I presume that's Robin Jaramello, the trainer at Kingsway, although they have a Chrissy Ludlam who also is a trainer at Kingsway. And that's what's so very important nowadays at the high school level, to have a certified trainer out there to assist, especially with the rules like they are with blood timeouts. Nice sit out and turn in by Verga to get the escape.
Or Gattuso, by the way.
That was Gattuso, I'm sorry.
He leads 3-2.
Yep.
Got to spin around here.
Which he does.
Nice job.
Yep. Hook the leg, and he's got a takedown. And a 5-2 lead, more importantly.
Remember, he has a stall warning, so he's got to keep working. Brings Verga right back down on the mat.
You see, he's working, trying to work under, trying to get turn the wrist back under the body. KG's got to reach in there for a half. Otherwise, if he rides parallel, that's what happens. He gets called for stalling and a point to Kittatinny. Can't ride parallel, or with the wrestler.
See the scoreboard. 55 seconds left. 5-3 lead, Gattuso.
Well, and he could actually afford another stalling point, but then you never want to jeopardize yourself by keeping it within a point.
Right, especially when you get the guy on the bottom. Escape will tie it.
Yes.
I think, he has the 2 takedowns. I mean, if he senses he's in a little bit of trouble, let him go.
Of course, if you let him go,
you got to take. Well, you don't have to take him down. Just be smart. But you've been the aggressor on your feet so far.
Yep. I see he's moving side to side, which helps out. There you go. Just cut him loose. Got a 1-point lead.
5-4. Verga might as well go for it now. Gattuso again, grabbing the head. Just got to watch out, though. Final 7 seconds. Spins around, gets the takedown. And he'll pick up a 7-4 win for Kingsway. And they now lead 9-0 after the first 2 matches.
Smart match by Gattuso.
We'll take a break. We'll be back. Kingsway 9, Kittatinny 0. Back at Kingsway Regional High School, 9-0 Dragon lead after the first 2 matches. We are at 145 pounds. Mark Haig, the junior, 4-3 for Kingsway. Colin Schwab, the senior, 9-2 for Kittatinny.
Schwab this year, 5th in the Caldwell tournament, 2nd in the Cougar Invitational at Kittatinny. Mark Haig, 3rd in the Collingswood tournament, and he was a district runner-up a year ago.
In on the leg. Try and bring Schwab back in and take him down. Nice takedown. Kingsway being aggressive on their feet early, Voge.
And that's the big key. They know that there are weight classes where they're going to have their hands full. So where they can get points, they have to be aggressive and go after them, and that's exactly what they've done in the first 3 weights that they've been wrestling in here.
And we talked, Kittatinny has that 1 loss in the dual meet season to Bergen Catholic, and 32-31, and there was 2 close matches and they lost them both. They could be unbeaten.
And see, Haig's on top here, and what he has to do is indicate to the official, Eric Love, that he is working on some kind of a maneuver to turn his opponent over. If he just throws the legs in, stays on top, and doesn't try working that half or that bar arm, then he's going to get a warning. A stalemate. Was doing just enough to force the stalemate, not enough to force a stalling warning. Got a false start. That was against a Kittatinny wrestler for firing up before the whistle blew.
Nice job by Haig to bring him right back down.
Yep, and you notice when Schwab come up to his feet that he slipped a half in there. So if he came down and Schwab wasn't careful to get down the right way, Haig could have possibly turned him for a back exposure.
Haig will hold on, 2-0 lead after 1 vote. Interestingly, going down to top 10, we mentioned 3 teams from South Jersey, Camden Catholic, Paulsboro, and Kingsway in the top 10. It's kind of strange not to hear Absegami's name and not in the top 10 in the state of New Jersey.
That's true.
Not in the top 5.
Yeah, we've been so used to it for so many years. But a little bit of a rebuilding process, I think, at Absegami. They lost close dual meet to Phillipsburg, and you know, if the past is any kind of an indication, you know, I think they'll battle their way back. Good move by Haig, almost give up the escape to release and drop right down to the legs and knock his man down that way.
It was Verga, who we just saw, and Schwab. They both weighed in at 40, right, Voj?
Both at 40.
Friday afternoon, we have a nice crowd here, Voj, but I expected a little bit more. I know there's a big match between High Point and Camden Catholic also going on in South Jersey, but I expected a little more of a crowd today. Once again, bringing him down.
Yes.
Go back to the center, 1:38 left in the second. Haig with the 2-0 lead.
But anytime you have the opportunity to go out and watch a match between 2 of the top-ranked teams in the state, like you had mentioned earlier, one is ranked, another false start on the bottoms. That's his second false start, and that's his last free one. Everything else now, it comes the caution. After the second caution comes a point with the cautions. But as you mentioned earlier, about both teams being ranked among the top 11 teams in the state of New Jersey, it is a little bit surprising we don't see more.
There's the warning against Haig.
Warning.
It's going to let him go here. Oh, no, he's not. Thought he was.
Well, Kittatinny has 2 cautions. Kingsway with Wood slowing warning.
2-1 now. On the escape by Schwab. Go back to the center, 1:09 left.
Mark Haig with a takedown in the first period for the 2 points in his 2-1 lead that he has right now.
He's got the leg again.
And you notice Schwab underhooking there as he comes in and tries to go for the leg. So it's a good blocking maneuver.
You know, you look at it down the line, Voj, if you can anticipate it being a close score, it's pretty good if you're Kittatinny and you got Will Livingston ending the match for you.
No question.
And I was looking to see how Kingsway had it set up. I know Renard weighed in at 30, so it's obviously going to be Livingston and Renard to end the match.
And that's why Kingsway has to make things easier for itself in these upper weights. You know, obviously we know that Sealy and Spellman are coming up, two of the better wrestlers for Kittatinny, but Kingsway has to make their own inroads into keeping that score close.
Well, we go in the third period. Haig has his choice. He'll take bottom. He leads 2-1. Kingsway 9-0, third match of the evening. Things starting off good for Kingsway. A second period pin by Orlando Cuevas, and then Mark Gattuso with the decision at 1:40, giving Kingsway a 9-0 lead. Haig trying to stand up.
And you got the same situation facing Colin Schwab here. I mean, he's got the legs in, but now he's going to have to do something with it, or the official's going to warn him that it's a stalling maneuver. He's trying to tilt, expose the back, but only for a 1 count. If he turns in, he gets his own reversal, but Schwab held on.
If you're Haig, you don't mind the seconds ticking off the clock anyway.
No, and conditioning is what plays a key role here. When you get down to the last minute of a match, and we got 1 minute even remaining in a 6-minute match, now conditioning comes into play. This is where Haig, if he's in shape, he's got to explode off the bottom, try to get that deciding point. Schwab counters the stand-up, takes his man back to the mat.
Schwab doing a great job if there was riding time, Voj.
Yeah.
Of course, Haig's also got to watch it. They don't think he's just, you know,
right,
not trying to do anything on bottom, trying to get out.
Yeah. Schwab tried for the tilt again, but you're not going to get much success with it as close to the out-of-bounds lines as they are.
33 seconds left. Well, we're going to see a freestyle start, so I'll let him go. We'll shoot for the takedown. And Haig's got to be active because he has the stall warning. Oh, he ain't let him go. Now he got it. Got the escape. Now 3-1 Haig.
Schwab's going to run out of time.
20 seconds left. Haig can spin around, get this takedown. He just wants to hold on now. 6 seconds. Got to watch. He's going to hold on and win. Final score 3-1. Kingsway now leads 12-0.
This match, ladies and gentlemen, is being televised by Comcast. With the legendary
152. We have, I just call legendary, by the way, by the PA announcer. He said this game is being broadcast by the legendary John Mondale. Legendary. God, I'm not even 50, Voj. Rob Whedon and Justin Jr. Couple juniors. Justin Jr. is a junior and Whedon a junior.
And Justin Jr., the junior from Kittatinny, 8-2 this year. First in the Caldwell tournament, second in the Cougar Invitational at Kittatinny. Rob Whedon, 5-3 this year, and third in the Collingswood tournament. So the advantage leans a little bit towards Kittatinny in this bout.
Big move by Junior too, right there, early on.
Down, almost right to putting Whedon right on his back.
trying to come out.
Junior has a pretty tight grip on that one arm, 2-on-1 on that one arm. If he gets a leg in and pries his man over, he can get back exposure, but Whedon doing what you should do, feeling the legs in, try to get to your feet, and for potentially dangerous, you'll usually get a stoppage of the bout.
Kittatinny began its run of Group 2 titles votes back in 2001, their first of 5 in a row. And to start that run in a semifinal match, knocked off Kingsway 29-26 and went on to beat Del Val 34-18, their first of 5 in a row. Many people think Delaware Valley's the top team in Group 2 this year. And I'm sure Kittatinny's going to have a lot to say about that before it's all done.
That's for sure. And Delaware Valley is also ranked in that top 20 you were talking about. So that very well could be the Group 2 championship match this year.
Del Val number 5. 4-0 lead now. And for Kingsway, when they lose, keep the bonus points to a minimal.
Absolutely.
And when they win, pick up some bonus points.
Which they've been successful in one of the 3 bouts so far. The big pin by Cuevas to start Kingsway's streak of 3 straight wins, and then the 2 decisions by Mark Gattuso and Mark Haig. But Whedon looking at a deficit here.
Second period, 4-0 lead, Junior. His choice, he'll take bottom to begin second period.
And usually if a wrestler has a lead, a lot of times you'll see him defer to the third period.
I was just going to ask you about that, Butch.
Yeah, so, different schools of thought on it, different philosophies. I say Whedon has to take him to the mat. Now, as long as he is trying to do something to counter whatever maneuver Kittatinny has, he won't get called for the stalling warning. But he's got to try and get him to the mat. Used to be like a count. Officials, you see officials counting after 5 seconds, they would stop the action. Not necessarily true anymore.
Look at a stalemate.
Yep. Potentially dangerous because of the way the knee was turning. Well, Whalen's doing a good job of riding him right here. Just has to keep total concentration. Here again, man gets to his feet. Have to try and get him back to the mat, and which he does.
.59 seconds left. We go back to the center again.
There again, you saw the official stop the bout at that point because the leg ride was in and they came to their feet, so it's potentially dangerous, and you stopped activity at that point. Justin Jr. to his feet is turned in. He's got the escape.
5-0 lead now, 40 seconds left. Now he's going for the takedown. Big point, big 2 points for Kittatinny here.
Yeah, but Whedon is hooking the leg. If he hooks the leg and clears his hip, he'll get 2 points for a takedown. There it is.
Yep. It's a big 2 for him. It's only a 3-point lead. Keep it close going into the third.
We don't have choice in the third period too, John, so he's narrowed it to 5-2. If he's on the bottom in the third period and can get a reversal, he cuts it to 1 point.
Well, we'll see what happens. We go to the third, 5-2 lead. Justin Jr. from Kittatinny. Whedon taking the bottom. Head coach Tom McConnell. Got the reversal. Look at the match now, Boach. 5-4. See what Whedon does here if he just elects to let him go in a couple seconds, if he can't turn him and start on his feet.
Again, Whedon has to be careful here. He doesn't want to ride parallel. He wants to try and do something where he can turn Justin Jr.
They're telling him to cut him. If you look, McConnell saying cut him, but I think Whedon thinks he can get some back points here. Now he cuts him. 50 seconds left. You need a takedown. He trails 6-4. First, you got to get the takedown and hold him and put him on his back.
Yep.
There's the take. He can't get the takedown yet, though. He's from behind. Nice move. He's got to finish it. Nice job by Junior fighting that one off, Coach.
Absolutely.
Nice job.
Absolutely. Whedon was 2/3 of the way through the takedown. Junior did not panic. Reached around to try and throw the overhook in, kept his balance, stayed on his feet. I think Whedon can sense the possibility that he can take this man down.
20 seconds, though. This time Junior takes the shot.
All he's got to do is lock up a leg. If he locks up on a single leg here, Whedon's not going to be able to spin behind.
8 seconds, and a takedown for Junior.
Big takedown.
Kittatinny stops the bleeding. 8-4 win. 12-3 lead Kingsway after 4 matches. We'll take a break and be right back. Some of the crowd here at Kingsway Regional High School, John Mondelli and John Vogeting, to 160 pounds. Jim Seeley, 160-pounder, coming in at 10-1, and for Kingsway, Billy Widener, a senior, 6-3.
And if you're going to beat Kittatinny, John, I think this is where you have to make some hay here in the upper weights. Seeley, as you mentioned, comes in 10-1, 71 career wins, first in the Caldwell and first in the Kittatinny Cougar Invitational this year. Last year, he was a district runner-up and third in Region 1. Billy Widener, 6-3 this year, third in the Collingswood tournament, first in the districts at 135 pounds 2 years ago, first in the district at 152 pounds last year. So you have a 2-time district champion in Billy Widener against a district runner-up who was third in the region in Jim Seeley.
Of course, Billy's dad was a, 88-pounder at Paulsboro High School back in the early 80s.
Yeah, he wrestled for Bob Frederick at Paulsboro High School.
That was our director coming up with that. That's a memory on Stan Ritter, huh?
Oh, he probably has a cheat sheet somewhere.
This is a big one. It's one of those ones Kingsway would love to steal.
Well, this is a crucial bout for Kingsway if they have any hope of winning this dual meet today. This is the kind of match when you're wrestling a wrestler like Seeley, where you have to be the aggressor out there, but you have to be controlled aggression.
You know, Vogue, I had a chance to see Kittatinny. Didn't see him last year, 2 times the year before. I think one was the state Group 2 final. The other one was that epic with Absegami where they lost a heartbreaker, I think 30-27 at the end. One of the best matches that I've seen. And that's when Kittatinny came down into Absegami's gym and gave them all they could handle.
Well, as we mentioned prior to starting the match, John Gill has carved himself quite a record at Kittatinny Regional. 328 career wins, and the team has done especially well over the last 6 years with district championships, state group 2 championships. Kids are bought into the program, and he has some numbers to work with. You saw a full lineup on the JV level.
I didn't think that JV match would end, Voj, between these two schools.
Well, there definitely, I thought, were more than 14 bouts, which is fine. The purpose of sub-varsity competition is to match the kids up and let them wrestle.
At the buzzer, no points.
No points. Very, very close. So we're scoreless going into the second period.
You look at some of the matches that Kittatinny has. We talked about the South Plainfield match January 7th at South Plainfield. Then they have High Point away on the 18th of January, Phillipsburg the next night. Both matches away. Also has Southern Regional at the end of January. That January is a tough month for this team. Four
Sure
really
is.
tough matches.
Sure is, and you know, you always want to see teams wrestle other good teams, but sometimes you got to watch how you schedule them, because if you get any kind of an injury or illness, it could destroy a season if you have too many tough matches in a short stretch of time.
Weiner starting on the bottom here, 30 seconds in. No score still, 160-pound match.
Yep, and Sealy is riding a little bit parallel right now, perpendicular.
Weiner gets the escape.
Weiner does get this sit out, gets the escape. And I thought Weiner came closer in the first period to getting an actual takedown until right at the buzzer at the end when Sealy almost got the takedown.
No points as we go out, 54 seconds left.
But that gives Weiner something to think about. Had that been done in the middle of the mat, could very well have been a takedown and back points. Again, it's got to be controlled aggression by Weiner. Now Weiner's got to be careful because he's doing a lot of blocking out there, and if he doesn't show his aggression and be going forward, he could be called for a warning. It's a good move by Weiner there to clamp down the head, bring his man down to the mat, make him think about it. It's a good spin behind move.
33 seconds left, still 1-0 lead. First, Sealy knows he'll be on the bottom. There's a warning against Kingsway.
Yep.
Sealy knows he'll be on the bottom to start the third period, so he just doesn't want to do anything too radical, give up any points here.
Right, and that's why I said that if he doesn't show control or aggression, he could be hit by a stalling warning, because he was doing a lot of blocking. He wasn't really taking any extraordinary shots. Sealy was taking more of the shots. So you've got to stay in, that's what that center circle is for. Stay in there, be aggressive in there, keep the pressure on.
1-0 as we go to the third. Sealy starts on the bottom. Couple seniors. And Weiner's got to be active now with the warning.
Right, he can't ride parallel. There's the sit out, turn in, and that gives Sealy the escape and ties it up. Again, Weiner has to be careful here, because when Sealy got the 2-on-1 on the arm and tried to work inside, Weiner had no choice but to go out of bounds.
There's the shot by Weiner.
That's the aggression you need right there, controlled aggression. looked for his opening, took advantage of it. See if he tries to come out the back door. There you got stalemate. If you don't move fairly quickly on that, and you both have each other's legs like that, you're going to be called for a stalemate. Sealy trying to spin behind, Widener countering, blocking him.
1 minute left. Might have a chance to see that overtime you were talking about, Voge.
Yeah.
And everything carries over, right? Stall warnings and everything.
I believe so, yes. This is why wrestlers spend an awful lot of time on their feet in the practice room for occasions like this where a takedown will decide the match. Again, Widener wants to be careful here because he has the warning. So if Sealy forces the issue and keeps coming at him, and Widener has got the circle, he can't back out.
There's
the circle right there.
Widener has the head. Reach down, trip, and try and get the leg. He can spin around for the takedown. He's going to run out of time, it looks like. Yep. Time and space, we're going to have overtime, Voge.
It looked like a situation right there where Widener could have got the takedown had he done that in the middle. Now you're into the 1 minute overtime period. That could have been a boost of confidence of Widener. He came so close to getting that takedown before the end of that period.
Almost, Sealy almost had that one. Go back to the center with 40 seconds left. 1-1. We go 1 minute here and then 30 seconds for each wrestler on the bottom, right?
If they're still tied at the end of this period,
right?
Yep. Well, again, Widener's got to concentrate on circling inside because if he keeps backing up like that, he could get hit with a stall. Right here is where he has to circle his man.
Oh, 1.8.
Don't think you'll see a takedown in 1.8 seconds.
No.
Overtime number 2.
This will be a 30-second. So you got people in the stands that are questioning what's going on now because
it doesn't really matter.
They don't understand it.
Each wrestler is going to get their shot at the 30 seconds.
Yep.
Got a little DB rating here up at 97, 99. See how loud it gets in here. Fred Buchter brought this, just measuring the crowd, the noise. Let's see, the crowd thinks it's over. It's not over.
It's not over. And see,
Just
that's
a
what
point.
people don't understand what the overtime rule is. That's
The
1
rule.
point.
He's got to watch that he doesn't get brought back in and taken down. neutral. Still 2-1. Or did they give him the point or not, Voge? Because the scoreboard has 1-1. Here's Gill. He's got a question. We can't hear the official. We'll try and listen in though. We can't hear him.
Should be 2-1.
Apparently the mic not working on Eric Love.
May have just got a bench warning for. Should be 2-1. Should be 2-1 Kingsway.
We thought he got out.
Yeah, he gave him the escape and almost, Kittatinny almost had the takedown on the line. So they'll finish out this 30-second period, and then Kittatinny will have a choice in the next overtime period.
Now if it goes to the other 30 votes, does it go by who scored first? We'll find out, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Well, Junior's probably going to take the, Sealy's probably going to take the bottom
He's
here.
got to take the bottom. You know, I think what happens if he escapes and it ends up 2-2 after this second overtime period, then I think they go to a 30-second sudden death.
Right.
And you're right, probably goes to who scored first.
Which was Widener.
Yep. But Sealy has to get out here or it's a moot point.
Right. But remember, Widener has the stall, so he's got to watch. He just can't sit there and ride him.
Yep.
Nice job by Widener.
Stay right with him.
10 seconds left. Oh. Johnny Gill not happy.
Well, I think he was questioning whether it was a locking hands to block that.
Three seconds. And Widener holds on. Big win.
2-1 in 2 overtimes.
So Kingsway up 15-3. Guild once again going over. Just has some questions.
We're now 171 for Kittatinny, Tommy Spellman.
Well, that was the public's first chance to see that, and you notice that when Widener escaped in that first overtime, 30-second overtime period, everybody thought it was over at that point, but the rules have changed. Of course, Mondelli brought on a very good guest on his first show about the overtime periods and had Dean Sizemore explain all that.
Some lineup juggling. Ryan Moore coming out for Kingsway against Spellman. So looks like Kingsway's going to move everybody down, making, I guess, more the sacrificial lamb in this case, Voge.
Yeah.
Spellman, we know about him, 3rd in the state last year. Had the big win in the Caldwell tournament, knocking off defending champion Scott Giffen of Eastern. And he already has a 2-0 lead.
And he has a 10-0 record this year with 74 career wins. First at Caldwell, as you mentioned, first in the Kittatinny Cougar Classic. Last year, first in the district, second in the region, 3rd in the state. He gives up the escape. It's 2-1.
Moore, no record on the season. He's now trailing 4-1. And we talked about Spellman and Giffen. You know, Voge, there's a nice tri-meet on February 4th at Absegami between Absegami, Eastern, and Kittatinny. Now, there are some rumors I'm hearing Giffen might go back down to 60, but if not, they could wrestle again.
Yes.
Of course, Giffen's had 2 tough matches. He lost to Kiss from Ocean in the Brick Memorial Tournament, but Spellman looking tough here.
Oh, very, very. Oh my, he's got Moore in much trouble, and there's the fall. No surprise. People could be looking at a state champion this year.
We're going to take a break. 15-9 Kingsway. We'll be right back. And back, it's 15-9 Kingsway, 189 pounds. Tom McCauley, a junior for Kingsway, Jake Weinrich, a junior for Kittatinny.
Macaulay 5-3 this year, was third in the Collingswood tournament, and he's bumped up a weight, John, so I think he qualified at 171 pounds, so I think he's giving away a few pounds here. Jake Weinrich 6-6 on the year.
Yeah, Weinrich weighed in at 185 and Macaulay weighed in at 171.
Yep. So there is a difference in weight, and there's a difference in the number of matches that the two guys have wrestled this year. Weinrich spins behind for the takedown.
Macaulay, nice job stepping over, getting a reversal and some back points.
Got Weinrich in a lot of trouble. Oh my.
How about this, folks?
Oh my.
Hit him, oh my. You're right. Oh.
Wow.
21-6 Kingsway.
Big points for Kingsway.
I'm anticipating here, Voj. I'm not going to anticipate. I'm going to say Grace and Alcott. Joe Carlson, so I anticipate it wrong. Joe Carlson, and watch this. Here you go, Voj. Watch this move here and getting this pin. After he's taken down.
Watch, good hips, good hips. He just hips right over, puts his man in jeopardy, bars the arm, locks up the half, follows through with the pin.
Well, you know, on paper here, Kingsway's the favorite. Carlson coming in 1-6.
Now, actually, Carlson is 2-7.
2-7. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Grace, who would have wrestled here, is 1-6. You can see the pin finalized there. Carlson, a junior, 2-7. Ryan Alcott, a senior, 3-4, fourth in the Collingswood tournament.
Of course, Alcott weighed in at 89, so he's giving up a lot of weight here. Alcott at 188. There's McConnell. Carlson 195. Not much, Coach.
No, I didn't think there was much weight difference between them. They look pretty similar out there.
2-0 lead.
Carlson with the takedown.
Ryan Alcott. And he's got Carlson in a little bit of trouble there momentarily. Gets a reversal. We're tied at 2.
Got the reversal. Getting very close to getting back points. Ryan Alcott, a senior. Joe Carlson, a junior. Now, as we mentioned before we went on, this is Kittatinny's Achilles heel, the upper weights, and so far, 189 has been a win by fall for Kingsway. And I think Carlson and Alcott in the early going here looks a little bit more superior than Joe Carlson. Here you see the new coach, Tom McConnell, getting pretty excited out there. That gum's going a mile a minute.
Baptism under fire, huh? Beast of the East, this big dual meet. What a way to start out your coaching career.
Yeah. They sit down and turn in for the escape.
Now Alcott with the takedown, a 5-2 lead.
Of course, the big thing here is if Alcott can get a fall and Cody Berry can get a fall, that's going to increase the advantage. to something that Kittatinny may have a hard time overcoming. 2 falls in a row would be 33-9.
Can Alcott finish it out?
Alcott's got the arm barred. Oh my. Oh my, oh my.
He's got plenty of time, though. It's got a minute.
Just wants to lay right there. Lay right there. Oh my.
There it is. Oh, 27-9. And they're going to need every point when it gets to the end.
Wow.
6 out of 8 so far for Kingsway. I've heard people coming in talking Kingsway maybe only winning 4, 5, 6 matches. They have 6 now, and they're a heavy favorite, you would think, here at heavyweight with Cody Berry.
Absolutely. I think they win their 7th bout here. That really puts a lot of pressure on Kittatinny at this point. Can't give up those bonus points.
Hayes coming in right at 275, Berry 242. But Cody Berry's been wrestling since his freshman year.
Oh yeah, he is a 3-year starter. I mean, advantage definitely to Cody Berry here. 8-3 this year, 3rd in the Collingswood tournament. Eric Hayes just got into the lineup. He was a football player, had to get down to the 275-pound limit. That's why he only has 4 bouts so far. 2-2 this year, but actually his first competition was in the Cougar Invitational. There you go with heavyweights.
Oh, there you go.
Love the bear hugs. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Berry's like a shark circling around the fish. He smells blood.
All right, nice job by Hayes, though, Voge, getting off his back.
Battled off his back. That's the key.
Because we're talking bonus points. That could come down to it. You know, losing a major, losing a tech, losing by pin.
Well, Hayes has his work cut out, no question about it.
Kingsway has 3 pins in this match. They've been pinned once.
That's the differential at the end when you start talking bonus points.
And obviously the move paid off. Give it McConnell credit and his staff. Moving McCauley away from Spellman. Berry's got to watch out here, though.
Well, Hayes lifts the legs here. He's going to get, there's the reversal.
Yep, 4-2.
Out of bounds they go. Now he's got to move on the bottom. I'm just looking at Kittatinny's match against Bergen Catholic. The last 3 weights, 71, or 89, 215, and heavyweight were all pinned by Bergen Catholic. And they had 2 major decisions in that match, which ultimately was the deciding point.
Locking hands. – 5-2 lead Berry. Caution against Berry.
Should be a caution against the bottom man, yep. Oh, nice move by Berry. Nice little Granby roll. Spins behind, gets a reversal. Very fluid for a heavyweight.
7-2 lead. We go into the second period. It's going to defer with the 7-2 lead.
good point, because you're almost forcing Hayes to take the down position.
Sometimes heavyweights anyway, you don't like being on the bottom.
Yep. Sure, they're going to tell him to grab an ankle, keep the man down.
Second caution.
Second caution.
For Murray. Next one's a point, Boge.
Yep. Everybody must be reminded that you're allowed 2 cautions before the penalty chart kicks in. Starting with a 3rd caution. Every time you get hit with a caution, it's another point.
Well, Berry had the right idea there, just ran out of space.
Yep. You barred that arm. You could, you get a big man down and you bar the arm, you're going to see a lot of heavyweights get turned at that point.
Of course, Kingsway gets into their conference schedule after this match. Clearview on Wednesday, and then they have Overbrook, part of a tri-meet with Lower Cape May over the weekend.
And Kingsway has been impressive today, John. I like the aggression they've shown and getting their falls. I mean, they were not intimidated.
There he goes, brings him right down to his back. That's what he needed.
Steps right over. He's going to pin him. He throws the half in there, even if he holds the far arm. He throws his body on top. He's going to get the pin. Oh my! Oh brother! Oh my!
There it is.
Oh brother!
33-9 Kingsway. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Back at Kingsway Regional High School, and 33-9 votes. I'm looking, there's only possible 30 points on the board to be scored in this match. And if Kittatinny gets them all, that's only 39-33.
Maximum, that'd be the maximum.
That's if they pinned out.
Yep.
Derek Valente, though, an impressive sophomore, 10-0 this season against Jared Smith, a freshman, 1-3 for Kingsway.
Yeah, definitely the advantage to Kittatinny here, and in the next 5 weights, really. Valente first in the Caldwell, first in the Cougar Classic. Last year he was 3rd in the districts as a freshman. 32 career wins coming into this bout. Jared Smith, the freshman, 1-3.
Of course, Valente's brother, a former NJSI AA state champion.
Now at the University of Pennsylvania, I believe. See John Gill. He is showing concern, but I don't think he's showing panic. The concern, of course, you always have as a coach is how your guys get pinned out there.
7 out of 9 matches going to Kingsway so far. Warning
for Kingsway for backing off. And of course, when Bergen Catholic beat Kittatinny, that was a 7-7 split.
Kingsway has 4 pins in this match.
4 pins and 1 big overtime decision by Billy Widener. So 2 points takedown. Of course, Cuevas starting it all off with a big pin in the second period. Cattuso and Haig with big decision wins before Justin Jr. stopped the bleeding for Kittatinny. But then Billy Widener with a double overtime win. Spellman did what was expected and getting a pin, but then Kingsway answered with 3 consecutive pins. Kingsway has been impressive in spots here, John.
And the thing is, Vogue, Kingsway knows they have to stay up their back, and Kittatinny knows they gotta pick up some pins, and it's not that easy.
No, it's worst thing in the world is for a wrestler going out there with the instructions that don't get pinned, because it sounds a lot easier than it really is out there. But I think the performance by Kingsway may have answered some skeptics who could only see Kingsway winning 4 or 5 bouts. I looked at the lineups ahead of time and I could see possibly 5 wins by Kingsway, maybe at the most 6 wins by Kingsway, and they've already won 7. Just goes to prove one thing, Mondelli.
That's why you got to wrestle.
On the mat,
right.
Not on paper.
2-0 lead, Valente. He chose top, Voge. His choice.
Well, I think in his mind, he knows he needs 6 points, and he's going to, you know, why go on the bottom? And you know, if there's any resistance at all to enable you to get out,
right?
Why don't you just take the top and work for the pin?
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing right here. He's got that cross body right in, and he's trying to pry.
There's the count.
There's the count, right?
We haven't had a lot of counts in this match either, Voge.
No. It's a feast or famine. Either a pin, with very few back points offered. Of course, the back points would have been given had the fall not been imminent. Oh my. The little freshman's in deep trouble.
There's
there
the
it
pin.
is.
Time of the ball is 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Gentlemen, Valente of Kittatinny. Valente by 4.
Now we got Nick Bach, 9-2, a freshman going up against Tim Ramirez, 5-3, a sophomore.
Bach, as you mentioned, 9-2 this year. Second in the Caldwell tournament, second in the Cougar Classic. Even though Bach is a freshman, he has much more experience this year.
It's Bach taking the first shot.
And where confidence comes into play here. You know, you've wrestled 11 times this year. You've been second in a couple tournaments.
Ramirez almost spinning around and getting a takedown.
Tried to spin behind. Bach did not panic on that situation. He had the far elbow and then just throw up the blocking hand. Here again, you know, you send Bach out from the Kittatinny side and you say, you know, we really need bonus points here.
Yeah. Ramirez, get that head out, huh, Voge?
Yeah, he's got to pop. He pops the head. He's got 2 points. Oh my! Here comes the head. Right there, pops it. He's got the 2 points.
Trying to free up that left hand of Bach and to get his head out, and he's going to do it.
Fact is, I think that's 2 points right there myself.
You're not officiating, Voge.
I know.
Now he's got to bring him back down now.
That's 2 right there.
There, he got it. 2-0 lead. Ramirez, and we talk about the schedule of Kittatinny. Don't forget, though, Kingsway's been through the Beast of the East.
Yeah.
And the Collingswood tournament, you know.
Well, that's why I say sometimes, you know, you go in the Beast of the East and you can lose 2 matches in the Beast of the East, and, you know, you couldn't know what the draw is. There's the escape.
2-1, 8 seconds left. Go to second period, 2-1 lead. Tim Ramirez of Kingsway. So we look at Ramirez. Defers.
Defers, yep. See what Ramirez has on top here. It's crucial to keep his man down. Inside switch.
And he doesn't want to get reversed, and he got reversed. 3-2 lead for Bach of Kittatinny.
And that was a rather basic move, too, that switch maneuver. Now he's got the far arm. If he pries that over, he's going to expose the back and get back points. There they come. Oh, my. If he steps over, oh, my. He's going to try and figure 4 the head. He's got to be careful not to get a scissors. Got to figure 4. Oh, brother.
How quickly they come back, Voge.
A figure 4 in the head.
Take a break. 33-21 Kingsway. We'll be back after this. Back at Kingsway Regional High School. Kingsway out in front, 33-21 votes. Getting a little close now, though.
Oh yeah, the gap has been closed down tremendously here with 2 consecutive pins. Justin Salvatore Jr. from Kingsway, only 2-1 this year. He was second in the college tournament, but a district runner-up last year. He's going against a freshman, Troy Hernandez, 9-4 this year, third in the Caldwell tournament, fourth in the Cougar Invitational at Kittatinny. I think what you saw there was a takedown and an escape, I believe. 2-1.
Justin Salvatore, just a junior, 2-1. Hernandez, the freshman, 9-4. Oh, we saw a sophomore and 2 freshmen in a row here for Kittatinny when it's crunch time. And they've come up big.
And they have. They have responded to the challenge as youngsters. I mean, usually you lean on your juniors and seniors to be the nucleus or the backbone, but these youngsters are in a very good program, and they're responding. And Salvatore was taken down for the 2 Kittatinny points before he escaped, so he knows what Hernandez has to offer. Salvatore's got nice height for a 19-pounder. Those legs are an inviting target for a wrestler. When you see long legs, a lot of times you want to try and get in on a single or a double.
But you better get them, because if you don't, you're in trouble, though,
if you don't, the leverage goes to the taller wrestler. You see Hernandez trying to spin behind, but there again, that height of Salvatore helps, but not enough. Hernandez spins behind, gets the 2 points.
4-1 lead after 1. And we talked about the fact that Kingsway has Livingston.
Yep.
To end the match, and hey, you want a kid that's undefeated and finished 3rd in the state last year to finish up for you.
Yeah.
But he's got to have a tough customer in John Renard, but that's asking a lot.
Yes, it is. Salvatore's choice this period takes the bottom. Son of Joe Salvatore. Justin is the son of Joe, who wrestled for Paulsboro and plays a big role in the junior program here in the Kingsway district, doesn't he?
Yeah, I talked to Joe earlier. The guy's never home during wrestling season between the midgets and the or middle school. We call them now. Is that what we want to call
middle
them?
School, yeah.
And then coming out to the varsity matches.
Yep. And was one of the guys volunteering to sell the 50-50s earlier that you refused to buy a ticket off of.
I ran out of money, Voch. I bought one of those. I bought a $10 ticket. I had $8. Mr. Becker lent me 2. Which he had for extra money laying around. I bought one of them at Paulsboro. I don't think they ever drew it. That was from like a year and a half ago. This one, at least, I think we'll have a chance at winning because they'll actually draw the ticket. 4-1 lead. 1 minute left here in the second.
Hernandez trying to bar the arm and reach for the forearm. If he bars the arm, reach for the forearm. If he ties the legs up, he has a good chance of turning his opponent over. He's got the arm bar, and he's got to slip the half in if he steps forward. Where Salvatore's got, like I said, he has a height advantage, so if he gets the legs out, he can counter that. Get to his feet, much better chance of getting an escape.
Nice job by Salvatore fighting that off. Still 4-1, 27 seconds left.
Yeah, I think you try. The encouragement here is to explode off the bottom. Get to your feet because you're a taller wrestler, and a lot of times that leverage will be in your advantage.
I don't mean to throw this one at you too, Voj, but is it true that there's no more dual meet ties?
That's correct.
So that would come down to a criteria if it's tied at the end.
And what we know, correct.
You know, Kingsway's already won 7. So we're going to get to a second criteria, obviously. If that were to take place, 4-1 lead.
Yeah, did you notice that Kittatinny had a choice in this period, took the top.
That's the second time in this match we've seen them do that.
Yep.
They want the bonus points.
Well, plus with the height advantage that Salvatore would have, there's a possibility if they feel that Hernandez could get tied up on the bottom,
right,
and maybe be exposed. So now they're hoping that since he rode him the whole second period and part of the first period, that he can work some kind of maneuver there to try and turn Salvatore. We know one thing, that if the meet ends up in a score tie, that the criteria won't be greater number of wins and bouts, because if Kittatinny is to tie this thing up, they have to win every bout, which would be a 7-7 split.
Absolutely. So, and we know what, Kingsway has 5 pins if it goes to that. You know, we'll get a mic over at the scorer's table if we have to.
Yeah.
If it comes down to that.
Yeah, I think it probably goes to, and I'll have to get this criteria for us for the future, but probably goes on sportsmanlike conduct points and things like that, and there's been none. So then it may go to a greater number of falls.
25 seconds left, still 4-1.
Salvatore trying to battle back. He's trying to use his legs to an advantage to try and hip out. He's running out of time.
Well, it's now 33-24.
Oh my, just missed the Peterson at the end.
Kingsway has to hold on here. Kittatinny's got to pick up 9 points in these final 2 matches. And they're definitely heavy favorites in the final 2. Ryan Dorman, a junior, 3-2 for Kingsway. And Brian Bollett, 10-1, a junior for Kittatinny.
If ever there's time to find a hero in red and black, it's with Ryan Dorman coming up. Although, as you mentioned, John Renard, a good wrestler as well, but he has his work cut out with Will Livingston, the 3rd placer in the state last year.
And those 9 points would only tie it. We don't know what the criteria is either, so we're not even sure 9 would do it for Kittatinny.
You're correct.
Now, as a coach, do you have somebody over there keeping track of that, knowing what you need?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know exactly what the criteria is, and you know exactly what what order they go into to break the tie. Ryan Dorman, a returning district champion and a Collingswood tournament winner. Brian Bollett, first at Caldwell, first at Kittatinny Cougar, 2nd in the districts and 4th in the region last year.
Bollett's only lost, Voj, 1-0. In that Bergen Catholic match. We talked about 2 close matches, and he'd like to help his team out here.
Dorman trying to spin behind here. If he picks up the ankle and frees his own leg, he can get a takedown, but they run out of, well, they actually were called for a stalemate because neither one could improve their position. Yeah, this is a situation where you're absolutely correct. If Livingston is to get a pin in his match, then you need at least 4 points in this match, or else a decision by Kittatinny would force a tie at the end.
And as we said, as good as Livingston is, Renard's a pretty good wrestler for Kingsway.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're not conceding anything at this point.
Of course, an upset here by Kingsway, they win the match here.
It becomes a moot point.
Dorman trying to spin around and get that 2 at the end. Nice job by Bolette holding on. And we'll go to second period, scoreless. Kingsway has their choice. They better take bottom here. No score.
(4-3) is the advantage in pins right now to Kingsway.
So if that's the one criteria it goes down to, Kingsway wins.
If they're in order for Kittatinny to force a tie, they need a pin in one of the last
okay,
two weight
it's 4-3.
classes.
I'm sorry.
So then it would be 4-4.
Okay, gotcha.
So it goes to the next criteria.
Yeah.
Get a stalling warning on Kittatinny for riding.
Trying to stand up. Dorman can keep moving because the pressure's on Bolette here with the warning.
Oh yeah, no question. No question. So your job on the bottom, just keep moving. And if he keeps following you and just riding you, he could get called for a stall. Nice turn in by Dorman. He's going to get a point here.
There it is.
There's a neutral.
Dorman up 1-0. Now he can be the aggressor, Village, with the warning because he can take shots.
Yep.
And you see Eric Love looking because it looks like, is Bolette backing up every time he's taking that shot?
Yeah, plus he's also watching for where the arm is across the neck too, and on the bottom. You don't want to get somebody in a choke situation.
Right.
Going to be a 1-0 lead after 2 periods here.
Third period.
Kittatinny has no choice but to take bottom in this period.
He's got to watch. Got to bring his. He's got to watch out here, though, Vogt.
Oh my! If he throws his hip over, he'll not get a reversal to get back points. Dorman doing a good job of blocking that leg, not letting that leg get over. If the hips get up and he steps over, good job by Dorman. Not panicking. Good job by Dorman.
Man, still in control and still has the lead, Vogt.
Yep, and he blocked that. You know, Bolette was so close to getting his hip out and stepping over, and Dorman blocked the leg, so Bolette could not get the reversal, which would have led right to back points.
Caution against Kingsway.
Kingsway caution.
Coach, carry this for a second. I'm going to try and get some information if it's an overtime.
Yep. Bolette again up to his feet. Dorman doing a great job of staying right behind him, bringing him back to the mat. Stalemate called. Neither wrestler could improve position. Dorman 1 minute and 5 seconds away from a huge win, which would clinch the meet for Kingsway. Second caution on the Kingsway wrestler.
Okay, Voge, I have them working on the breakdown just in case we are tied.
That was the last. That was the second caution against Kingsway, so that was the last free one. Willett trying to get his hips out. If he gets his hips out. And
Nice
Dorman
job
doing a
by
great
Dorman, though.
job. You see, he doesn't panic when he goes towards his back. A lot of wrestlers will panic at that point and release their grip.
2 juniors.
And of course, if Dorman wins here, it's a moot point because
Absolutely.
that will clinch the meet.
38 seconds left. Now he's got to watch, though.
Got that leg in there. He's got that leg in there. As long as he keeps that in there, he's not going to give up the reversal. See that
15
crossbody right
seconds.
in there?
15 seconds.
He's going to run out of room. Out of bounds they go.
No stall warnings either, Voge,
9.4
right?
seconds. No stall warnings. Kittatinny was warned for stalling.
Well, that's what I meant. I mean, on
Kingsway
Dorman.
has 2 cautions, so he can't give up another caution or it's a point.
Right.
But that would just force overtime. Dorman holds on for 9.4 seconds.
No, you don't want that caution. There we go, final 8 seconds. Kingsway can clinch or we can go in overtime. He's going to hold on, folks. Kingsway's going to win this match.
Oh,
Look at that, how about that? Doesn't
1-0.
matter. 36-24 Kingsway. They're going to clinch it right there.
That was it. That clinched the meet.
That's why you wrestle the matches.
Absolutely.
And how about Willett? He has 2 losses this year, both 1-0.
Both 1-0.
And both key matches. Let's just have some fun with this one, though, Voge.
Absolutely.
Will Livingston, one of the top wrestlers in the state, 3rd last year at 125 pounds. He's unbeaten. John Renard, 5-2 for Kingsway.
And Kingsway has shown in this meet that they have no fear. John Renard comes right after him.
Right, and there's the takedown.
Gets the takedown, got the takedown. Amazing performance by Kingsway, John.
And they've won 8. And I tell you, I told you, Voge, about Renard. I said, look, he's not going to go out there
Absolutely.
and give up 6. I mean, just easily. I mean, Livingston's going to have to earn it. It's plenty to wrestle.
Yep.
But we saw this kid last year towards the end of the year. Remember, he was hurt.
Yes. And he's doing a great job right now. I mean, you look at Livingston come in with a 9-0 record this year, 112 career wins. Last year, 1st in the district, 1st in the region, 3rd in the state. And he's wrestling John Renard, a sophomore with a 5-2 record. Yes, he has won the Collingswood tournament, but advantage here would have to be toward Kittatinny.
Of course, Renard's 2 losses coming in that beast.
Yes.
Won the Collingswood tournament.
What a great team performance by Kingsway.
We talked about their balance, Voge, and I think I go to that move at 171, Voge.
Absolutely.
When they moved McCauley to 89.
Absolutely. Here's a first-year coach knowing exactly what his wrestlers can do. What's the best advantage for him?
And of course, Ryan Dorman with the big win.
Oh, yeah.
Knocking off a kid 10-1.
Yes.
Clinching it for the Dragons with all the pressure on him.
Yeah, and never panicking out there. You know, several times his back was exposed. You're going to see a stall. See, you don't have to stop the bout. Whereas before you had to stop the bout. Kingsway is warned for stalling, but wrestling continued.
But he might have been, I wasn't sure if he called it for that or they were going out or what the deal was. Because I remember Dean Sizemore on the show talking about that rule change where wrestling would continue.
So you got a second caution against Kingsway, and next one's a point. There's the escape.
2-1, 40 seconds left. Renard trying to spin around and get another 2. And there's Renard taking the shot.
He's showing no fear whatsoever. You know, if you look at credentials coming in, you have to say, well, I don't have much of a shot here. But that is not the way that Renard accepted this responsibility here. It's a challenge, and he's trying to live up to it. He's doing a heck of a job so far. Livingston being relentless. He's going to get 2 on the takedown. That makes it 3-2, Kittatinny.
4 seconds left here in the first. Had to check out conditioning too.
Yes.
We do know Livingston did go to distance in his Bergen Catholic match, picked up a major, a 9-0 win there. Livingston with the 3-2 lead.
Renard Choice takes the bottom.
Renard's one of those kids, you hear in the midgets, you know, I heard about a couple years ago. I think he's a guy we're going to hear about a lot in the next 3 years. Just a sophomore.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question, especially the way he's wrestled so far in this bout. Your confidence is a very key ingredient when you're wrestling. And Renard come out with a lot of confidence in this match. Nothing to lose. Wrestling a state place winner. Just go out there and do your thing.
You know, early on, Vogt, a lot of great matchups here in the state of New Jersey. I mean, we saw, 3 top 10 teams lose in the first week, but a lot of them were teams in the top 10 wrestling each other, and we have again today.
Yep.
And Kittatinny's got to get right back on it because next week they have South Plainfield, who's ranked #1. Who I guess would be the favorite in Group 3 right now if you look at it, but you know, Kingsway's making a statement.
Very happy father on the other side of the arena there.
And that red shirt, Billy Weiner, his son picked up a big overtime win for Kingsway.
Huge win.
(3-2) lead Livingston, 55 seconds left. And if Kittatinny did not know who John Renard was before this match, I think they're finding out right now. Look out.
Yep.
It's in a little bit of trouble. But look at him. Look how composed he is. He's coming out. He gets a reversal.
Gets a reversal. Again, confidence. 4-3 lead for Renard, who was a heavy underdog coming into a wrestler who was 3rd in the state last year. Just don't go into Dragon's Den and surrender. Expect the Dragons to surrender.
And expect to slay the Dragon. How's that, Vogt?
Yes.
Now, if you're Renard, you don't want to give up this point here in the last 20 seconds because Livingston's going to take the bottom to start the 3rd period, right?
Right, to have your hands full there. So you want to break him down, try to control the movement. Well, you're going to have a caution on the top man for whatever he did there, and I'm not quite sure what he did, but that's a caution on Kingsway, and that's a point. That was the 3rd caution, so that ties it up at 4-4.
What's the reason for all the cautions, Vogt? Early in the season?
Well, I think where he was grasping there, according to the official, the way he looked in, he indicated why he called the caution.
That was a big point, 4-4.
But you're right. an extent. Early in the season, the wrestlers aren't as polished as they'll be later in the season. There's a stalling warning. And that was the second stall against Kingsway, so that is a point.
Yeah, tough one with 1 second left too.
Yep. There's another caution. And the next one is, they're continuous caution points.
2 more and he's done, right, Voge?
2, he's got a stalling warning and a stalling point. So the next stall would be a point. The next stall would be 2 points, and the next one would be disqualification. See, that's cumulative. The cautions is a point every time.
Okay. 6-4. He's gonna start. Just let him go. Work on his feet. (7-4) lead Livingston. I'll tell you what, a hard fought 7-4 lead so far.
Oh yeah, yeah. Renard's is not backing off one bit.
I was going to say, watching the match, it's hard to believe he's down 7-4.
Yes.
But you know, he's given up a couple penalty points.
Yep, 2 caution penalty point, 2 caution points and a stalling point. So that's 3, and that would have been 4-4 had it been not for the 3.
And how do you go to call a caution with no time on the clock?
Well, he called the caution and the timekeeper started the clock. And he's going to give the caution there, then he got to put the 1 second back on the clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
1:13 left, still 7-4 Livingston. Through 13 bounce, 8-5 in favor of Kingsway. They lead 36-24. They've clinched the team score. One more point, 8-4.
That was a technical violation. This is all cumulative now. So if there's a stalling warning or another technical violation, it'll be 2 points.
I was going to say, a nice spin behind by Livingston, but fought off by Renard.
Yep. Well, Renard's not surrendering.
No.
Stalemate. Well, I think you can capsulize this as a Herculean effort by Kingsway.
Absolutely. Final 20 seconds. Renard's going to come up short, it looks like, Vodes, but Kingsway is going to win the match.
Livingston's going to win the battle, but his team lost the war.
Final score of 36-27. Favor of Kingsway. We're going to be back with a little post-game interviews after this timeout. And welcome back to Kingsway Regional High School. Final score, Kingsway 36, Kittatinny 27 with Coach Tom McConnell. And Coach, baptism under fire. I mean, you start off with the Beast and you have this big dual meet with Kittatinny. How's it going so far as a new head coach?
It's great. Our kids have been great. Assistant coaches have been unbelievable. Great support from the parents. It's just a great place to be.
You know, we talked during the match that you guys had to build up the big lead early because of the lightweights for Kittatinny. As you saw this match progress, I mean, were you thinking the same thing?
We had that feeling too. We knew we had we know how tough certain areas in their lineup are. And we know we had to do a few things and get some pins up top, and our kids came out ready to go.
A couple things that we thought were really turning points. One, moving McCauley to 189. We thought that was a great move. And of course, the win by Dorman towards the end.
Definitely. But ultimately, we can move guys wherever we want. The kids still have to come out and wrestle, and they did. Tom McCauley, he was up about almost 20 pounds, and he came up big for us. These guys knew they had to wrestle 6-minute matches, and their opportunities would open up.
Voj?
Well, I think Coach hit on one thing that's very, very important in high school wrestling. A lot of times the third period is a big determining factor. And for the most part, it looked like all of your wrestlers are in pretty good shape at this point. The conditioning-wise, you happy with where they are right now?
Yeah, we're happy right now. These guys, they do a lot of work in the off-season, so they came into the season in pretty good shape. And they just continue to work hard every day. We knew we had a big match coming up, did everything we needed to do to prepare for it, and we knew the conditioning would play a major factor in this match. These guys did a great job.
When you win 8 bouts out of 14 bouts, you have a lot of heroes out there. But I thought one bout in particular with Widener wrestling and going into overtime, I thought you got virtually every ounce of effort out of him that you could.
Yeah, Billy's, since the Beast, he had a great tournament at the Beast, and he's been fighting a little bit of sickness, and he just gutted that one out. There was nothing else to say about it. I mean, he knew he was going to be in a big match, a tough match, and he really just gutted it out. There's no other way to put it.
Talk about adjustments. I mean, you assisted at Collingswood, an assistant at Eastern, head coach here. What appealed to you about this job?
I was under 2 very good head coaches. I learned a lot from both of them, both Gary Worthington and Ron Hamrick. And I just felt that, I was ready to step in and help out with this program.
And talk about the schedule. We talk about this every year we cover Kingsway, but you guys have a very ambitious schedule.
Yeah, it's much more fun to come out and wrestle. This is what they work for. They're in the room working every day for these types of matches. And, we know how important it is for them. And for them to get better, they need the rest of this type of competition.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Great job. We appreciate it. Okay. Thanks, Coach. Okay. Voj, a big win for Kingsway, 36-27. I mean, towards the end, we thought we had a chance of maybe going down to the criteria, but we talked about Dorman picking up that big 1-0 win. And then as it turned out, I mean, Renard, we're going to hear a lot from him in the next couple of years. He gave Livingston all he could handle.
Oh, I don't think there's any question. I think Kingsway's got a bright future. I think they have a good, aggressive team. They have a very enthused head coach, and as he mentioned, he's got some great assistant coaches. And I think that the future is very bright for Kingsway. I think people walked in here today, myself included, thinking that maybe 5 individual wins, maybe 6 individual wins, but it looked like it was going to be a pretty tough match, and they just never stopped wrestling.
Right. Well, final score, Kingsway wins 36-27 for John Vogening and the entire crew. I'm John Mondelli. We'll see you next year. We'll get it out right here on Channel 5.